Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Hope you're all well. Thank you so much for clicking the button to watch my video. Today I'm going to be talking specifically about the points system when you're applying for the foundation program. So before I start sort of delving deep into the points system, I need to make it clear that the foundation program is a competitive program. Competitive in the sense that you are ranked initially against all your peers in your year group, and then you're ranked against everyone who applies to the foundation program. So you're ranked, nationally, globally, internationally, whatever else, because as I've said, if you're eligible to apply for the foundation program, regardless of where you're from, you can apply. So it's a competitive thing in that sense. It's also competitive in the sense that you are applying to a deanery at the end of the day, and some deaneries are more competitive than other deaneries, but I can talk more about this when I talk about the SJT, because I think it's more relevant there. Right, let's get right into it. There are a maximum of 100 points that you can get when you're applying for the foundation program, and they are divided into 50 and 50. 50 of those would be from your situational judgment test, which I will talk about in my subsequent video. I was able to get 45 points in my situational judgment test, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I was able to do that. But the other 50 points are made up of your academic achievement, I guess you would say, something called your educational performance measure. Your educational performance measure is basically made up of 3 different components: the decile that you're in, whether you have any publications, and whether you have any additional degrees. Specifically about deciles, at the end of your penultimate year of medical school, usually your year group is split into 10. You are ranked against each other and given a decile. The top 10% of students will be in the first decile, and the top 20% will be in the second decile. The top 30% will be in the third decile, for example. The decile that you're in dictates the amount of points that you can get. If you're in the first decile, you will get 43 points. If you're in the second decile, you'll get 42 points. If you're in the third decile, you get 41 points, and so on and so forth. If you're in the 10th decile, you'll get 34 points. So the maximum points that you can get for your decile is 43. The next component of your educational performance measure is whether or not you have any additional degrees. The maximum points you can get for an additional degree is 5. If you have a PhD, then you can get the maximum points of 5. If you've got a master's degree, which is something that I had, you can get 4 points. If you've got a 2-1 in a bachelor's degree, then you get 3 points, and so on and so forth. The final points for your educational performance measure are determined by whether or not you have any publications. The maximum points you can get for a publication is 2. So it doesn't matter whether you have 10 publications or 20 publications, the maximum you can get is 2. A note about publications: you need to have a PubMed ID in order to have be able to put your publication on your application form. If you've written for your local newspaper and you don't have a PubMed ID, then that doesn't count. You can't put that on your application form. Right, so the maximum score you can get for your educational performance measure is 50, and that's only if you are in the first decile, if you have a PhD, and if you have at least 2 publications. If you don't have any of that, then you're not going to get 50, which is, the majority of medical students. Not everybody obviously is in the first decile. Most medical students don't have an additional degree, and most medical students don't have any publications. I was not in the first decile, and I only got additional points for my master's degree, which I did as an intercalated degree. If you want me to talk about my intercalated degree, then by all means let me know. I can talk about that in another video, but I also did not have any publications. That's it for this video, guys. Hopefully it's been an eye-opener for some of you. I imagine most of you guys, especially if you're in final year, you already know most of this information, because I remember when I was in final year, I became literally obsessional about the points system. But yeah, I will see you in my next video where I talk about the situational judgment test, which is the other 50 points of your total foundation program application points. So yeah, see you later, guys.